And a very big hello, everybody. Welcome along to another round of the Schumacher Series. We're about to get underway with qualifying here. The second round of the championship. The first round saw CSAVs take out a commanding victory with 25 points over Rico Nosberg and the Viking hanging on for third. As you can see, the championship standings there. And this time around, we're in for some fun. We are heading off to the magnificent, the majestic, the beautiful, the very, very, very dangerous Saudi Arabia for the running of the second round of the championship. Snuck a little bit of a hand from a friend of mine to give us a little bit of a run today in commentary as well. A man who I race at with in the Mansell series, and a guy I've done a little bit of commentary with in the past. Hello, Bulldog. How are you, my friend?
Yes, not too bad, not too bad.
I'm not sure why I haven't got any screen racing display capture there. I might just swap one of my settings over. Just bear with us, peeps. Just bear with us. And I'll whack that up and bring this on. I'll bring my screen live, and that way we can get it in. It should be picking up the game, but it's, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? Just need to make that a little bit bigger, don't I?
Very interesting to see the likes of Mason going out on the intermediate tyres.
Already they're underway?
Yes, they certainly
Okay, first car's making its way out of pit lane at the moment. Just going to try and adjust a frame here so that we've got this full screen. It was fine 30 seconds ago, but that's how life works, right?
It certainly does.
Game capture.
But that's very interesting. It's going to be interesting as CSAV's in currently P2 because he hasn't set a lap yet, but it's going to be interesting. There's no Rico tonight.
No Rico Nosberg, are you saying?
Yeah, there's no Rico Nosberg.
Well, that's no fun. That's no fun. He's a very solid pilot, it's got to be said. Oh, why can't I get this full screen? Stupid concept. Okay, I just got to do some quick changes here. One of the catch-22s for streamers is that the graphic settings, every time you switch out of game mode, it wants to not let you use your mouse. Okay, now we've got, there we go. Seems to be working now. Perfect. Okay, we're in business. Let's get on to qualifying. Who's going to set pole? Cheeky Otter, CSAVs today, Jackaribo. We've got Sinker out there. Mason makes an appearance. Valhalla stepping in as reserve driver for the AlphaTauri team. GR, the Aussie dude, Ronaldinho. Always great fun to race against him. GR V-Dux, the Viking A-Lock, and Hickey Cat will play a part on today's race. 12 drivers taking part in qualifying so far. An interesting lineup, Bulldog. Who would you think would be a favourite for this upcomer?
I'm going to go with the dark horse here and say Valhalla. The way that I've seen him driving, his pace is just on spot.
Valhalla, did you say?
Yeah.
I've not used my controller since the new games come on, and it's set to vibrate at the moment. So I'm literally riding with Cheeky Otter at the moment. It just scared the hell out of me. I thought a spider was walking along. Yeah, I don't know. Look, the competition, obviously CSAVs is always going to be favourite. The guy's super quick. I told him during the week that I was leaving GR. We had a little chat during the week, and I said, I'm going to be leaving GR. He said, when? I said, soon as I can kick your butt. He said, so you'll be around for the next decade or so. I said, oh, at least that. He's such a great driver and so quick. And the great thing about, for people like you and I that are not front runners like these guys, the great thing about racing with these lads is that you get a really good gauge of how you're improving in the game. Like, once upon a time, Hickey Cat would disappear off into the distance from me. I still can't get past him, But now I'm finding that I can keep up with him, and just keeping up with him for 2 laps is like winning a Grand Prix. You walk away that enthused from it, just because you're able to keep on the tail of these really fast guys. It's a lot of fun in GR.
Oh, you would too, but you've got a Hickey Cat already setting a 129.2, and CSABS goes even quicker with a 128.5.
Now we've got one of the other, it'll be Cheeky Otter, I think, that's just crossing the line. No, not Cheeky Otter. In fact, there he is in 6th spot, that's why. Oh, just runs a little bit wide on the exit as well. Hickey Cat coming around in the Ferrari to complete another flying lap. 13 minutes of the session still remaining here in this qualifying.
Yes, very much so. And it's going to be interesting to see if, GR the Viking will actually set a lap.
Well, it's customary he doesn't.
Yeah, well, I mean...
And quite often CSAVS joins him in that little afternoon tea party down in pit lane during qualifying, but he's elected to go out today, which gives you an idea of how seriously he's treating this round here at Jeddah. I got to tell you, coming into this season, and I think you might be, I don't know, you may not be the same, to be honest with you, Bulldog, but I hated this track. I absolutely hated it. And it was only because I kept bouncing off walls all the time, but doing a whole heap of laps around here, I was able to really find a groove. And I've got to say, we've got a Huss into the wall on the exit of the final turn.
Oh, that is Ronaldinho.
Ronaldinho, such a shame. He's out of this qualifying session now, and CSA's making his way around in slow motion to start another lap. But yeah, as I was saying, Bulldog, now one of my favourite tracks.
I've got to try and get used to it. There's certain parts of the track where I keep spinning. There's one part of the track where I also I cannot take flat out.
Well, there's lots of parts of the track I can't take flat out. Which part? What you mean, like in race trim?
Yeah.
What part's that?
Who can I go on board with that would be sort of near that? Maybe on board with A-Lock, or even looks like Sinker's doing a bit of a hot lap. So I'll show you when he gets to it.
Okay, on board with Sinker at the moment. Hits the DRS zone, about to start his first flying lap of this qualifying session. McLaren Pilot comes down to turn 1, knocks it back to all the way back to first. That's a surprise. He's low on his ERS, yet he okay, that was a flying lap from 130.1. That's why now he's on a recharge lap.
It's this corner. It's that corner there that I cannot take flat out.
Oh, I can't take that flat out either.
I've got to go down to, I think it's like fifth gear, and sort of just tinker between 5th and 6th.
I found, and I'll see, it'd be interesting to see if any other drivers are doing this. If I flick between 5th and 6th through that corner, I pull back to 5th to get the rotation, then slam it back into 6th, and seem to be going down. I love this turn. I just love how you can push this turn and if you get on the gas right, absolutely perfect. You just launch into this DRS zone, but if you get it wrong, you ping pong ball off the walls.
Yes, exactly.
So, and one of my other pet see, I've never really liked, temporary street circuits, right? And Singapore's always been a bit of a no-go zone for me. I've been quick at Singapore. I just can't complete more than a couple of laps in a row. So it'll be, I think that's A-Lock that we're looking at going screaming past at the moment. No, it's not. Be Jackaroo, I'd say. Yeah. Let's see what sort of time he can do. Sits down there, first full flying lap, and he's right down to 8% ERS, comes down across the line, Runs it beautifully down the white line, doesn't invalidate. Clocks up a 132.4. Fastest time so far from CSABs, electrifying. 128.53 from him. VDux pops up into the top two, 128.85. Hickey Cat 129. And then we're 29s all the way down to Sinker.
Yes, and that's when we get into the 130s. But I think, to be honest with you, Mason could go a little bit quicker. He's currently on a 134.2.
Did he just do a sight-in lap and he's happy to start from the back of the pack, perhaps?
Maybe.
Because you're right, he's usually a lot quicker than that.
But we do have Hickey Cat coming out of the pits for another lap. Well, an out lap anyway.
Well, CSAVs is just shaping up for a bit of a run now. He's got 100% ERS, as you can see on your screen, making his way down to the, I call it the sweeper, because that's sort of how it plays out for me. Great part of the track.
Yes, and we've just got to hope that Jacobu doesn't sit there in and impede CSAV's lap.
No, he's going to the pits. So let's see what CSAVs can do. Let's take you for a lap around this Jeddah circuit. Should be a lot of fun with this pilot because he is a quick dude. Down into turn one, holds third through there, releases the brake, pops it straight into fourth, a quick short shift, gets a nice smooth run out of turn two, down to turn three. Difficult part of the track to get right. You've sort of lining up this part of the track blind, as you are most of these corners around Jeddah. Down through Bulldog's bends, the part of the track he loves so much. Very easy to run wide there. Doesn't do it for CSAV. Stays within track limitations. Hard under the brakes. Should go back to fourth gear here. Straight short shift to fifth. Get the power down. Feed it on. Slowly so you don't tag the wall on the exit. Up into seventh. Holds that. Should drop back to fifth through this section. Beautiful. Right within track limitations. Runs it right out to the wall as well. Now, the real fast part of the circuit where you build up absolute mega speed up to around 312 kilometres per hour in the real deal. Oh, quick fast sector, quick second sector for CSAVs as well. Just keeps his foot firmly planted on the floor, tries to maintain a smooth flowing line before all of a sudden throwing out the anchors at the 100 metre board, turning it in third gear, short shifts to fourth. Let's see what sort of a time he can do, Bulldog.
Yes, exactly right. I think he'll do a 128.2.
Oh, pretty close. 128.3. CSAVs goes one better. Hickey Cat also came out to play. He's chewing through his ERS on this warm-up lap too. Or is he on the flyer now? He might be on the flyer. He couldn't have been on the flyer.
Is it Hickey Cat you were saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on the flyer.
Wow. He got around that out lap pretty quick. Let's see what he can do.
Purple sector 2.
A big purple sector. He's flying at the moment. Up into top gear. Runs down through this long sweeping right-hander. Jumps on the brakes. Got on the brakes late then. Still managed to get the car turned in. Held fourth. Run nice and wide on exit. Pulls it up to seventh gear. Clicks up into eighth. Let's see what he can do.
Ooh, a 128.6.
So no major improvement there after a blistering second sector. Looks like he might be suffering the Charles Leclerc's.
Yeah, we got VDux was on a lap but has sadly invalidated, so he may be wanting to get back to the pits and maybe change your tyres and come back out for one last lap.
Good to see A-Lock up the pecking order so high too, up into the top five. Valhalla sits there in seventh spot. Ronaldinho, imagine what he could have got here in this session if he hadn't crashed out early. Still sits there in eighth. Two drivers still unable to even get close to his time. One of those being Mason, which as you said, is a little bit of a question mark. Now, is Vidux getting ready? No, Vidux is coming into the pits. CSAVS is in the pits. What's Hickey Cat going to do? He's on a recharger at the moment. Cheeky Otter's in the pits. So,
Mason's
problems for
on
Sinker.
a hot lap.
Sinker. Oh, he's tagged one of the Ferraris too. That's Hickey Cat, who's now out of the session. He backed up at the most unfortunate time, and the McLaren's been absolutely T-boned.
If we go on board with Mason, we might be able to see it. I'm not too sure, depending on if he can get around there quick enough.
Just before we hop off, I've got to ask Sinker, how do you like your T-bone? Well done. You like that? Do you like that? Well done.
Yeah, I do.
Well done. You like that?
Hey, but not necessarily you like your T-bone well done. You might like it medium rare.
Oh, it was a gag I used to use years ago. The drivers used to hate it. I'd get so many complaints straight after it. Okay, on board with Mason now. 3 minutes left of this qualifying session. It's on now.
He is currently 1 second quicker than his previous time into Sector 2, so let's see what he can do around this last corner of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
Hickey Cat said, it felt like it all happened in slow motion. Poor guy. Good on you, Hickey Cat. Love your work, brother. Love your work.
Mason does a 129.8, putting himself P6.
Not bad, but I'd still expect him to be higher up the pecking order.
And Aussie Dude has set a 130.8.
And Sinker reports in too that after he spun, he went to try and go forward, but you know what it's like, that the temperature well up over 130 degrees Celsius on the rear tyres. It didn't work, and he's probably feeling a little bit low. Don't worry, brother. We've all been there before. We know what it's like. So Mason now on a cool down lap. We've got Valhalla on an out lap, Cheeky Otter on an out lap, and A-Lock on an out lap as well.
I'm also being told as well my microphone is a bit quiet.
Huh? I've got it registering beautifully.
Well, Ronaldinho has said, Bulldog, your mic is a bit quiet. I have no idea. He just said that on the Twitch channel.
Okay, I shall do something very, very tricky and have a little bit of a monitor at the same time. Thank heavens for mobile phones, right?
Exactly. But all I could say is thank God for a second monitor.
No, I got to disagree with him. I think it's absolutely spot on from what I could hear off Twitch at the moment.
You think it's spot on?
Yeah, because just because you haven't changed any settings in OBS doesn't mean that it's that it's going to work each time, does it? So, but thank you. Look, it sounds reasonable. I probably sound a bit high, if anything, but that's because I'm a loud bugger. Oh, invalidation there for A-Lock. Well, it didn't come up as an invalidation.
No, it hasn't.
I mean, he couldn't have got any. If he went any wider, he would have picked up some change from the pie stand. But
he's obviously a 10th down in his time into Sector 2, so let's see what he can do.
He can go to the pits.
Yeah, he will.
And the crowd are sitting on, loving what they're seeing at the moment. Absolutely loving it. Valhalla on a flying lap. Sits in 11th spot at the moment. Let's see what he can do. Down into the braking area. The final turn. Feeds the gas on so gingerly. I love it. And he's going to go in. No, he's not going to go into pit lane. He's pushing it. Let's see what he can get. Can he improve?
Oh, P5.
P5, 129.5. So there you go.
By 6/10.
Now, I don't know if CSAVS, he's on a flying lap, and so too is VDUX. They're both on a flying lap. Just trying to work out who's where on the track. So who do we watch first?
CSAVS first, and then VDUX.
Yeah. So let's stick with CSAVS and see if he can improve on that 128.38.
And CSAVS was actually 700th of a second up on his previous best.
Nice. V-Ducks not that far behind on track either as well, so we won't have to wait long to see who does get pole position here.
Yes, it's going to be very interesting out of these two because practically these two are the last two to set a lap.
Well, two more runners, as Bulldog said, to cross the line. Let's see what CSAVs can do. 128.38. Does he improve? 128.08 this time. So he found 3/10 on that lap. Now, V-Ducks, can he respond? Comes down across the start-finish line. Does he improve?
Oh, he did improve by 0.3 of a second.
And look at the gap. Look at the gap. 1/10 of a second.
Oh, not even.
Over this entire lap.
Not even 1/10. It is literally 35 hundredths.
We are in for a race, punters. We're in for a race. Okay, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back when the boys are ready to go racing. Stick around. Should be fun. And we are ready to go racing here in Saudi Arabia, Jeddah. A tough, demanding circuit, great DRS zones. Oh, Bulldog, I've got to put you on the spot. Who are you going to back for the race victory here?
I'm going to have to give it to CSAVs.
I don't disagree with you. I think V-Ducks will keep him very honest, though.
Yeah, I was going to say I'll give it to CSAVs just on pure pace.
Well, there's one good thing we're about to find out. We've got about 5 seconds for the drivers to get ready, finish off their strats on what they're going to do, and we are one light and off on the warm-up lap. A chance to get some heat into the tyres, which won't really pay much dividends because the tyre model's bugged. But nonetheless, it's very good at getting rid of desync problems.
It very well is, and it's very interesting to see the likes of V-Ducks, A-Lock, and also Jacobu starting on the hard tyres.
Yes, I'll bring up a... Okay, I need to do this. Okay, let's bring up some data. We'll go interval. We'll go tyres, because it's always fun. Telemetry, lap data, and full track map. We should be able to swap. I'm using the Stream Deck, so we should be able to swap between the drivers pretty quickly. So let's run through the field. Our pole sitter, CSAVs, V-Ducks will line up alongside. Then we go back to Hickey Cat and Cheeky Otter, the two Ferraris, locking out the second row of the grid. Valhalla, after that late performance in qualifying, in fifth with A-Lock alongside him. And we go back to Mason, expecting him to charge as he warms up those rear tyres. Then back to Sinker in 8th position. Noxie, who was late arriving to qualifying, but has been able to get himself into the top 10. The Aussie dude sitting back there in 10th. The luckless Ronaldinho in 11th after crashing out in the Haas during qualifying. Jake Aribo in 12th, and none other than the captain, the Führer, the leader of leaders, the Vikings, sitting back there in last, going for the alternate strategy for him. He's only got 2 strategies. I qualify or I don't.
One thing I can say about the Viking is he loves to do those last to first challenges.
He always takes very interesting strategies. And if you're smart when you're out there racing against him and he comes up with you and you're on hards and he's on slow, just on soft tyres, just let him go. Sit in his... It's free DRS. He does us all a favour. He just loves overtaking. He loves the fight. I think the Viking. I've never spoke to him about why he chooses those tactics, but I'm assuming that he just loves the fight. He loves to have an attack mode, you know? And I can relate.
Yeah. And how many of the drivers are actually going to get the into their box correctly?
Well, you know, here's the thing. I've been pinned twice in a stream, like Cheeky Otter just did, for not making my box, and I made it every time. So I disregard what's on screen. It doesn't work. You know, nothing worse than saying a driver didn't do it and they did do it. Okay. The lights come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Round 2 of the Schumacher series is underway. Held them for a long, long time, they did. Terrible camera angles again. Now that's better. CSAVs gets the bolt. V-Dux will slot into second. The Ferrari side by side through turn 1. Looks like Hickey Cats gain the upper hand there over Cheeky Otter.
Yes, and it looks like every driver made it through the turn 1. Oh, there's Cinco without a front wing. So he's into the wall early.
Won't be the last. Oh, big go there by Noxie, who's moved himself up into 5th spot and is on a charge at the moment on board the Alfa Romeo. And is it? Yep, side by side goes the Aussie dude with Mason. Mason, what's going on? And the Aussie dude's got him. He's absolutely got him and's trying to slot back into the line. Does a great job of it too. He's got Jake Aru all over the back of him at the moment as well.
I think Viking might be having some issues because he is going very slow into...
He's got a flat tyre. Sorry to jump in. Left rear flat tyre for the Viking. Not the race start he was looking for. He's limping around the track at the moment. And that will be his only set of mediums as well. Oh boy, oh boy. CSAVs leads the way over V-Dux. Then the two Ferraris nose to tail. Then Noxie. What a start from him.
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected it either.
Then right behind him, a gaggle of cars all battling for position as Valhalla is right up into that battle as well. Gets in front of his teammate. There's the predicted pit stop strategies on your screen. Glad we're not being paid for that graphic because when does anybody ever follow that? When does anybody ever follow that? Everyone knows better than the computer. Ask them, they'll tell you. The Aussie dude pulling away from Valhalla and closing in on A-Lock at the moment. Doing a good job, the Aussie dude.
Yes, and you've got the likes of Noxie up 4 positions from where he started, and Sinker is down 4 positions from where he started.
And I just noticed when the Aussie dude came through that left-hander, he took a much tighter line than A-Lock. He took a line that I like to take there, where you really do hug it to the wall. You can't get on the gas quite as early, but when you do, I feel like you just got a little bit more kick out of there. You obviously have to have a high downforce setup to be able to do that, but if you can, and you can make it count. And particularly around here where you've got so many decent slipstreaming opportunities, that little bit extra downforce doesn't seem to hurt too much. And the Aussie dude's making every post a winner at the moment in 7th.
He certainly is, and...
Spinner in the background.
That is
Bahas.
Ronaldinho.
Ron Aldinho. Problems for him. Gets it pointed in the right direction, but those rear tyres will be absolutely like lava at the moment. He's going to go straight into the pits. I wonder if he's tagged his front nose cone. Let's see. The race continues on. 3 laps at 25 here at Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. A place I've been lucky enough to visit too and spend a bit of time at, Saudi Arabia. Very interesting country. He's gone for the hard tyres. No wing change. And he's sitting there. That seemed to take forever, and I'm not sure why. Was he serving a penalty? He might have been serving a penalty. I didn't notice.
I think he might have been. I didn't even notice. Oh, there he goes. His wing again.
Ronaldinho.
Yup. Just as he's coming out of the pits, he lost his wing.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Isn't it funny how this happens so often? Once you have one bad incident, they seem to come one after the other, after the other, after the other. Oh, have a go. The Aussie dude up into the DRS range of A-Lock at the moment, closing in on the big left-handed sweeper. Gets really close down under braking. He's going to have a little bit of a look, decides better against it. Third gear through that final turn for him to try and get as much momentum out of the corner. He's going to get a run on him on the straight. Let's see if he can make it count. Looks to the inside, does he? Yeah, A-Lock holds his line. They go side by side around the outside. A-Lock tries to hold it, has to go tight onto brakes. They're still side by side. But the Aussie dude, clean as you like, perfection. Great driving.
Yes, the Aussie dude is actually having a great race this evening. I mean, that Aston Martin is looking fantastic, and he's on the charge.
Yeah, the A-Lock's going to get him back here, and if you watch the front end of the Aussie dude's car, it's really, really twitchy. You'll see on the exits of the turn when he tries to get the power on, it's dancing all over the track. He once again takes that tight line through that section of the track. And I'm wondering, while he's got pace at the moment, are those medium tyres going to be able to hang on enough for him? And you can see A-Lock all of a sudden, the roles are reversed. Aussie dude just tracked him down like it was no tomorrow. And now A-Lock is just climbing all over the rear wing. Wants to have a go before the DRS zone.
Oh yeah, you could see there that that Aussie dude's front end was very, very squirming.
And look at this, straight through the centre comes Mason as well. They're going to go 3 wide, are they? No, Mason's smarter than that. He backs out. He's happy to sit back and wait as the Aussie dude goes side by side with A-Lock. And now it's a double DRS for Mason. He's just going to sit behind the Aussie dude, hoping the Aussie dude has got enough momentum to get past and just follows him through. A-Lock very close to the back of Mason.
Oh, and A-Lock spun.
Who spun? A-Lock?
Yes.
He must have, did he tag the back of Mason? We went to a different camera angle on our screen. Doesn't look like it. Looks like his front wing's still there.
There's a major crash.
Yes, and I can't get back to it. I can't get to where it is on the track.
It is...
A-Lock's out. Mason's out. The Aussie dude's out. That is hugely disappointing. The Aussie dude was having a blinder of a run.
Yeah, and so was A-Lock.
We got half a glimpse of it and the camera angle changed and then I couldn't get back to it, so apologies for that. And already the chat's fired up with what happened out there. Now, Sinker has been in. Jake has been in. Jake Rebo. Now, what about the front runners? Are they going to pit? Well, CSAV says no. He's staying out there on those mediums. V-Ducks. Hickey Cat rolls the dice. Hickey Cat down into pit lane. You'd assume he's going for the hards. Viking will definitely pit because he's only done 3 laps. He's already done 3 laps. He doesn't do more than 3 laps, does he?
I don't think so.
No,
you never know.
He's on the hards. He'll stay out. I'm being cheeky. I'm being a cheeky otter.
Hickey Cat went on to the hard tyres, and so did Cheeky Otter.
Noxie's doing the same. He's elected for the hards as well.
And so is Valhalla. Valhalla's gone on to the hard tyres as well.
Now, the hards around here are quite durable. However, I'd prefer to be on the fresh hards under a safety car restart than 5-lap-old hards.
Yes.
There won't be a massive performance difference, but as you know, Bulldog, there is a difference.
Yeah, and there's a difference with also trying to heat up a new set of hard tyres compared to trying to heat up a 5-lap old set of hard tyres.
The chat's alive with the incident between A-Lock Mason, the Aussie dude, at the moment. Disappointing way for them to go out, and we're down to 9 gladiators. So, at the moment, Sinker, that sits third in line here, is actually lap traffic.
Yes, so it's going to be very interesting for, obviously, Hickey Cat being the car just behind of Sinker.
No fun, is it? Being lapped. I wish they'd allow the lap cars to overtake. Because it's no fun for anyone. It's no fun if you're behind that driver, and it's no fun if you are that driver. Because all you're doing is trying to keep out of everyone's way, and by doing it, you're getting in everyone's way.
Or not just that, but you're trying to obviously get out of everybody's way at the restart. But when you do, you get penalised for it.
Yeah, because you're not allowed to be competitive. It's stupid. It's one of the things they need to bring into the game, that the lap traffic get given the green light to overtake, and we don't have to wait till they get back onto the tail of the safety car. We just need them out of the way, and let them run their own race too. Like, don't forget, 9th is valuable points in this championship.
Yes, 9th is 2 points.
2 points. 2 points following the Formula One scaling of points. 25 for the win, 18 second, 15 for third, all the way down to 10 spot, excuse me, I've got a bit of a cold, all the way down to 10th spot, and that one valuable championship point, and all of them are valuable.
Yes, and it's going to be interesting to see if Jacobu and also Viking can catch up to the back of this safety car as well.
Sorry, I didn't realise my game would do that, drop all the sound off. I just needed to have a cough. The joys of living with COVID. I'm not. I just like to say that. Yeah, I've not been able to catch it, My partner had COVID.
Yeah.
I can't catch it.
I haven't been able to catch it either.
Worked in close proximity with 3 guys that have had COVID. I just can't catch it. I want 7 days off work.
What, 7 days off work so you can play F1?
Absolutely. That's track time, baby. That's track time. Okay, safety car will be in this lap. All the field have caught up to the safety car. The lights are out, as you can see. CSAVs, race leader at the end of lap 7, has control of the race. V-Ducks in second. Then we go back to Hickey Cat and Noxie doing a great job for somebody who arrived late at qualifying, up into 4th, but they do have Sinker to try and negotiate on the restart here. Let's see how this plays out. We should actually keep an eye on go with Sinker. Oh, so look, he's pulled out. What a great job. The guy's pulled out of the way to try and do the right thing, but the game just makes it so hard. Well done, Sinker. GG to you, brother. GG to you. Okay, CSABs leads the way. He had about a 2-3 second gap by the time the safety car came out, but now VDUX gets another chance to play, and Noxie is right up behind Hickey Cat on the restart as well. Hickey Cat just starting to, I thought was starting to pull away, but problems. Cheeky Otter has now got an issue.
Redux and Valhalla out of the race.
And Sinker as well.
Oh.
And I still couldn't hit the button quick enough to get back there to see it. And the Viking goes up into 5th, and he's got no front wing, so he's doing a tour down pit lane again. Here's the problem with Jeddah. It's a concrete jungle. So if somebody spins in front of you, you've got 2 choices. Don't hit them or hit them. But the second choice of not hitting them is really, really difficult to do because they're right there in front of you. And if they're sideways, they're taking up more than 3/4 of the track. And a stack of drivers have become victim to that. Now the Viking, he's got to go softs here. He's got to go softs, and it's not a full course caution either. I'm wondering if there's been some sort of desync here, because what is going on?
You'd have to think so, wouldn't you? I mean, I wonder if maybe one of the drivers is alt-tabbed and...
Well, Jake Rebo's also got wing damage as well, so he's going for a tour of the pits. Now, CSAV's out in front's pulled out a 4-second gap over Hickey Cat, who's got Noxie chasing him down, and then our two drivers, Jake Rebo and the Viking, are doing their pit lane tour. Both of them in the pits at the moment. So this is the closest battle that we've got on screen at the moment. Noxie version 2, I might add. New and improved. They've done a whole heap of coding work on Noxie, and he's come back better, bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. Because that's what version 2 is all about, isn't it?
You never know. It could be just a... I mean, he could have just had an upgrade.
Well, he certainly seems to be performing pretty well. Started in 8th, up into 3rd at the moment. You know, just as you can see by what's on screen at the moment, just completing a race here at Jeddah, you should get a trophy for, bare minimum, because it's such a difficult track to do 25 laps around. Imagine what the Grand Prix drivers feel when they have to do double that in real-life Grand Prix. But at the moment, Hickey Cat seems to be able to hold out Noxie, who's just slipped out of DRS range. He's still got 46% of his ERS. Let's have a look at Hickey Cat. He's been squirting a bit trying to break that DRS. He's down to 38. And CSAVs, well, he's just in a league of his own.
And we've also just been asked, did we catch the spin?
No, we didn't catch the spin, and I'm getting reports from Ronaldinho that he had 2 disconnects, and it's really hard to come from a disconnect back into a live race around this track. Your force feedback slowly creeps in, and the car feels yuck. So I can relate to that. But nonetheless, we are down to 5 runners. Surprise no say. Whenever have you seen 4 cars have a crash out on track and no safety car?
You never see that type of thing, but it just depends on really what the safety car is or has been set to.
We're on board with the Viking at the moment, who did elect to go onto those soft tyres. He's 5 seconds behind Jake Rebo, but we know these tyres aren't going to last too long at this track. And particularly with this model that we're running at the moment, it just seems to chew through softs like no tomorrow, probably making it a little bit more realistic to real life, if the truth be known. So we've got a reasonably stagnant race at the moment. CSAVs, 5.2 seconds over this man, the Hickey Cat, down through turn 2. Then we go back to Noxie, who's fallen off the tail after the early attack, sitting there on those 5-lap-old hards. Then Jake Rebo in 4th spot. He's elected to go out onto mediums. Now, the mediums will make it to the end of the race from here. I know from experience, and but they're not going to be much fun on those final couple of laps. What did I do around here? 22 laps. 21 laps on mediums around this track in race trim, and the last 2 laps was like almost racing on ice. Every time you'd go through a corner, the car would slide. It was predictable slide though, Bulldog. You know, like it wasn't catching you out, but it would 4-wheel drift through every corner. And when you're, trying to get yourself, that'd be a track limit violation there from Jacob Rebo. When you're trying to get yourself really, really close to the concrete wall to maintain momentum, it can get darn scary. I will admit I did hear that little clunk a couple of times as my rear wheel hit the concrete wall.
Yeah, he did get a warning for that little bit of a corner cutting. As CSAV's into the pits.
So CSAV's electing to make his pit. He goes onto the hards. Comes out onto the track. So 12 laps out of those mediums. Not a bad run. He's sticking to the preferred strategy, according to... They don't call him Jeff anymore. I still call him Jeff.
Yeah, according to Mark.
And Mark's supposed to be a real engineer. It sounds like they found him in a pub. Yeah, mate, really like the way you're going. Keep going. Bring back Jeff.
Apparently, with what I've actually read since the game has been out, is you can actually put Jeff back in as your race engineer.
Oh, can you? I'll have to go and investigate that. I'd like to be able to switch Jeff off completely. And I mean, when I say that, so that, you know, whenever a safety car comes out, you hear an alternative strategy in your MDF.
Oh, yeah.
No, I've picked my strategy. Leave me alone. I want to be able to switch that off, because you say, okay, I'm going on a softs now. I'm going on a softs, and you come into pit lane and the computer puts you on hards, and you're like, no.
I was like, no, I didn't want to go on hards.
And that's, hey, peeps, this is not criticisms of the game. You know, look, the tyre model we're using at the moment is like off the scale. I mean, Jarno Opmeer at Miami was doing battle on brand new softs on a dry track against intermediates, and they were pulling away, right? So, not very realistic, but the game is what the game is. And if you do lap times and you push your tyres and you try different tyres and you understand what their strengths and weaknesses are, you can use it to your advantage. You can win races just by having a better strategy and being a slower driver.
Exactly, because you got to realise too, a lot of, like, not to say that like a lot of people will, but they'll end up making a mistake.
Only the 5 runners left in this race, and we've still got 12 laps left to go. And this is the closest battle we have on track at the moment. The Viking closing in on Jacob Rebo, and he's now got 4 laps in the bank for these softs. So they're not reaching their cliff just yet, they're starting to let him know, hey, you know, we're thinking of leaving the party here, Viking. So he needs to get the overtaking manoeuvre done. And then after he gets past who appears to be a very competitive driver here in this class, and I say that because I've not seen him race until tonight. This is the first time I've been able to witness it. But he seems like a fast, consistent driver. Once he gets past that, he's only got 35 seconds to try and close in the gap to CSAVs.
Yeah, but not only that, he's going to have more time because he's obviously got to make another pit stop.
Yeah, and there's no safety. Well, you wouldn't think there'd be another safety car to help him out with this one. It looks like it's going to be green to the checkered flag because there's just not enough cars. If we have another 2 cars go out, that's not going to be a fun race at all.
Yeah, no, because obviously there'd be only the top 3 and we may as well just call it a night there.
Oh, Viking going around the outside. See, he loves these strategies because he gets to do bold, ballsy moves like that. And why not? That's part of the fun, right?
Yeah, but not only that, I could honestly say, I would love to see Viking go on to like a set of mediums, not mediums, inters or wets, just for a bit of fun.
I don't like your chances of seeing that. But Jacob Rebo, coming into this round, sits there in 5th at the moment. He's going to pick up 10 World Championship points for this, which is a good haul for him. Had his first round at Bahrain and had a DNF on that occasion. So this will be a nice jump up in the pecking order for the championships. He'll find himself well and truly in the top 10 here, probably sitting around 6th or 7th perhaps, if he is able to hold down that 5th spot.
Very much so. I mean, He's out there having fun, I can tell you that.
Well, there's a whole stack of drivers: Cheeky Otter, V-Dux, Valhalla, Sinker, A-Lock, Mason, the Aussie Dude, and Ronaldinho that are all sharing their war stories at the moment in the global chat. A lot of and A-Lock wasn't impressed with the hard tyres around this track. I love those tyres around here. They were awesome, absolutely awesome. I found anyway. A lot of it too is what sort of setup you're running, how much downforce you're running. The cars are so much more complex to set up than they have been in the past. You can now get a really fast qualifying car, but it just burns tyres out on a racetrack in race trim. So you might get, a front row start or a second row start, but no good if after, 5 or 6 laps, you've got 110 on the rear tyres. It's never going to work in your favour. So setups, pardon me, is very much like real life now, a genuine compromise.
Very much so. And I mean, you can get your tire. You can have your tires at the temperature that you've got them at. But during the race, as you said, they're going to go off. And I've been told by a few drivers that you change the pressures.
Yeah, well, once in the 2001 game, you'd just basically go full right on your tyre pressures. Basically load up the full pressure on the rears, full pressure on the fronts. But now they're electing to go full left on the fronts. I don't run full left on the fronts. I generally have a little bit in there, particularly if you're going to run a hard medium strategy. Helps generate a little bit of heat in those opening couple of laps. And sitting about the mid pressure range on the rear tyres on some tracks, a little bit lower here and there, but I've certainly never gone higher than halfway. Look, I just think at the moment, and they were supposed to release a patch. EA was supposed to release a patch last Monday with the new tyre model in it to correct some of the problems that they've had, like the losing heat after a formation lap and starting on coals against, warm AIs and things like that. And it hasn't dropped. This year's tyre model is so much more complex as the safety car has come out. We have...
That is due to...
Is it Jake Rebo
spinning?
Yeah, and losing his front wing. I didn't expect that. You have a 3-car pile-up. The safety car doesn't come out. One car spins, tags the wall, no one's near him, and the safety car comes out.
Oh, and then... Hakkinen, Noxie, and Viking get a penalty for speeding under the safety car.
Whoa.
They've all got a drive-through.
Whoa, that's big.
And Noxie into P1.
Well, let's see what happens here. Hakkinen comes into position, doesn't serve the penalty here, comes back out onto the track. Well, this has thrown the gates open, hasn't it?
It certainly has, but I think Hakkinen was thinking, can they serve the drive-through? They can't.
No, you got to come back in again.
After the safety car has finished.
Yep. So let's check out those penalties. Drive-through. CSAVs is going to go straight. All 3 of them have got 3 laps after the safety car comes in to go and complete those drive-throughs. So,
yes, and, to be truthfully honest with you here, Jake Rebo could end up taking provisional P2.
Look, I tell you, I don't think he will. And no disrespect to the guy. He's on 8. Oh, he's just gone onto the softs. Well, I'll hold that thought because Hakkinen, the Viking, and Noxie are all going to be at a massive disadvantage here. By the time we get back under race trim, we'll only have about 6 laps left to go. That's an Everest to climb. You may well be right. Jack Rebo could find himself not picking up the 10 points, but 18. That would force him well into the top 5. based on what I'm seeing there at the moment, because Noxie, I believe, is down as a reserve driver. You've got Hakkinen, who is still out there as well. He didn't compete at, yes, he did. He had missed the race. He didn't compete, so he's on 0. He'll potentially pick up 25. So this championship just got blown wide open for the second round. This is going to lift some egos.
Well, this is going to be very interesting because I think Noxie has just lost connection to the game. Because it just said that he has left the session.
Well, hopefully he can get back in. They are under safety car, so that works in his favour at the moment. The game is known to crash from time to time. CSAV's putting in the message board. I just want to race. Let me at him.
Yeah, so I think CSAVs is telling the mechanics in the Red Bull garage, let me at him.
It's a bit like that. Now, Noxie, as we speak, is opening the game back up. He did have a crash, so this is good. Don't worry, Noxie, you've got time. The safety car's still out, bud. And your AI hasn't done anything stupid, which is unusual. So you're still free to get back in.
Now, don't put the commentator curse on him.
No, I want to see him back in. I think he's probably already back in. Haven't seen it come up on screen, but I've been watching the Global Racing chat. If you want to be a part of the Global Racing League too, check them out on Facebook, Global Racing League on the Facebook page, and send the Viking an email, a message. There he is on screen at the moment on those soft tyres. Looking forward to having a drive-through penalty, I've got no doubt. Lovely guy, passionate about his league racing, and not a bad commander of this series, it has to be said. So Noxie back in. Safety car's going to come in this lap. Hard, 12-lap old hards plays soft 1-lap olds from Hakkinen and CSAVs, because they still got to complete a lap. He can't follow the safety car in. He has to complete 1 lap, then serve that drive-through penalty, which is agonising. There's nothing worse as a driver.
Yeah, because he could end up being 1 lap down, depending on how long it actually takes to serve the penalty.
No, safety car stays out for another lap. Oh, they're waiting for Jackaribo to close in. Yeah, he was a bit too far back. I thought he was making up more time than that, so 1 more lap. So you've got to ask yourself, how do these drivers get done for speeding behind the safety car? Well, if you haven't played the game, you're operating off a delta time that you're not allowed to exceed. And at the moment, I think the best way to describe it, Bulldog, would be the deltas are very janky. 1 minute you're 14 seconds behind, and the next minute you're 3.2 seconds over.
Yes.
And if you're given a period of time of which to get below your delta time, and if you don't, that second, bang, you get hit with it, which is fair call, except that the delta time just can be a little bit, unless you're just concentrating on nothing else but that time up in your right-hand top corner of your screen. And around Jeddah, where there's a concrete jungle, and you're also trying to keep temperature in your tyres, it's a lot easier said than done.
Very much so. As Jackaribo has caught up to the back of the safety car.
Staring down the barrel of second. Yeah. CSAVs potentially, well, is the leader as soon as these guys take their pit stops. Hakkinen will be spewing. He will be so livid. He's been so competitive this whole race. Still on for a podium, but he does have the Viking to deal with, and that's not always an easy task. And Noxie has proved to be very, very fast, but he's going to stay out on those 13-lap-old hards, and I think you'll find that that's going to see him in 5th spot. He can't pit stop during his drive-through. So he can't elect to go onto a softer compound, even though he could get those to the end of the race now. Safety car starts to pull away. We're going to have around about 5 laps left to go when they come down across the start-finish line. And Bulldog, game on.
Yeah, game on, all right. I mean, basically you could say the P3 is a very, very interesting spot to be.
Well, Noxie's slowing them down onto the start-finish straight. Safety car is officially in pit lane. Noxie's coming in. I didn't think you could serve it on the opening lap. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, let's take a look. I'll go on board with Noxie and see what actually happens.
His pit crew's ready. He's going for softs. Yep. You can't serve it on the opening lap. I didn't think so, but it's been a while since I felt that curse.
So he is going to have to come back in.
Absolutely. He's going to have another tour.
Ouch.
But he didn't really have a choice. He had no choice. It's not a dumb strategy call. I back him 100% on it because he had absolutely no choice. He's now given himself the best chance he has of being able to pick up 4th, but it is going to be a really tall mountain to climb. CSAVs all over the back of Hickey Cat, but I don't think he'll try and make the pass because he knows that Hickey Cat needs to go into the pit. So too the man behind, the Viking. Then you've got Jacarebo, who's about to go from 4th to 2nd in the blink of an eye.
Yes, and not only that, but Jacarebo was at one stage a lap down.
Yeah. And now finds himself in a podium scoring position. So here we go. Now the pit stops are about to happen. Well, the drive-through penalties probably more to the point, but you get my drift, right? Here goes the Ferrari of Hickey Cat. He does have 3 laps to serve it, but no point hanging around.
So we've just been told that they're going to let everyone serve their penalties before they start racing.
Okay, so they're going to let everyone go through, do their penalties. You can see CSAVs has slowed right down. Jacarebo, so they're going to let them come out, obviously, behind.
Yeah.
But they're going to hold the pace. They're doing a virtual... Don't go too slow, CSAVs. You'll get disqualified. That'll be the next drama.
And there goes Jacarebo to the back of the pack.
CSAVs gave Hickey Cat back the race lead too. Now they start to come up to full speed. So
well done.
That's sportsmanship, right? That's sportsmanship. And in fact, Noxie's gone around CSAVs too, so they've gone situation status quo from behind the safety car. Great call, guys. Absolutely great call. And we have 5 cars, nose to tail, on the track. So they've made this their very own virtual safety car.
You could say as well, they've made this their own 5-lapper.
Good on them. Good on them. Okay, this time around though, they will be going back to full speed. It looks like they're just doing a safety car lap at the moment, or a virtual safety car lap.
I've been told that they were all bugged drive-through penalties.
Okay.
And they're going to be doing a dummy restart.
Yep. That's the way to do it. Why not? Sort it out on the day. This whole sorting it out after the race takes away the fun of it, especially if you finish on the podium. So now Noxie's brought it back up to a little bit more pace, trying to get some warmth, and he's scooting off into the distance. I think he thinks it's go time. He's gone. He's absolutely gone.
The information that I was getting was coming directly from none other than VDux.
Well, thanks, VDux, for passing that on, my friend. Much appreciated. Of course, he works behind the scenes in the GR series as well, and very hard-working. So too our...
Oh, no! Noxie's disconnected.
Oh, well, he's a sitting duck. And also, CSAVs does a lot of work behind the scenes as well. Now, he's all over the back. Speaking of working behind the scenes, he's all over the back behind the scenes of Hickey Cat. Now he's getting racy. Now he wants to get past.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, we only have 3 laps left of this race, so it's going to be very interesting.
Noxie with a 7.8 second gap over the rest of the pack. I dare say that would have been VDuck's call to adjust that under race trim. So well done. Great call, because at least we get to see a bit of fun racing now for the last couple of laps. It's like a 5-lap open lobby at the moment. All on soft tyres, all going hard. Although varying degrees on tyre wear here. Noxie with 2-lap old softs. Hickey Cat with 5. Same with CSAVs. 4 for the Viking and 5 for Jake.
Yeah, very interesting. I mean, Noxie only has, like you said, 2-lap old, but it depends on the wear as well. Because it depends on if, like, Noxie or any of the other drivers have locked up.
Well, Noxie now with a 1.8 second gap. Hickey Cat, fastest lap of the race as he starts to feel the pressure. Now, that's not bad with CSAVs behind you to pull that one out of the bank. The fuel temperature, fuel weight's coming down at the moment, so the cars are getting lighter. And we've got a 3-way dice for the race lead now as they've caught up to version 2 of Noxie.
But Noxie isn't having the best of races because he has just rejoined the lobby again.
Well, he's back in now. So at least he can fight for that final podium spot against the Viking, who's closing behind. Look at these two pushing each other down the track. CSAVs looks to the inside. The Red Bull goes down the inside. Ferrari tries to hang on the outside. Does it get a better run out of this corner? No. CSAVs commanding. Knew how much grip he had. Just gets a bit of a slide on there as he comes down. It goes into the wall.
Oh,
he has spun around and broken the front wing of the Red Bull car, relegating Hickey Cat to the race lead over Noxie and the Viking, with Jake now in 4th. He will be upset.
He will be spitting chips, I think.
The Viking all over the back of Noxie as he comes into the DRS range. The rear wing will open. Bang, there it goes. Tries to go around the outside and does it with consummate ease. Now sets his sight on a Hickey Cat. All of a sudden, Viking, who likes to start at the back of the pack, senses that there may be the chance of a victory here. But unfortunately for him, Noxie's now got DRS and he's not slow here. Can he do anything down into turn 1? The answer's no. No ERS to play with there.
The question is, could Jacaribo keep up with the likes of Noxie and the Viking?
Well, you'd have to think yes, wouldn't you? But we'll see. They've only got a couple of laps left to go. Viking's still got 40% of his ERS and he's known for burning it, but Hickey Cat's got nearly 50% in the tank as well. So they're pretty much equal slather on that. But you just feel that with a 1.1 second gap, around about the same ERS, the Viking, courtesy of DRS, if he can just find that extra 1/10 of a second, may be able to put himself into a very commanding position, and he knows it too. He's chewing up the ERS. He's down to 25 now, playing 38. Hickey Cat is trying to chew up his ERS to stay in front, keep him out of that DRS range. Has it worked? It's so close. 1 second as they come down towards the detection point. I think he got it.
Not only that, Noxie doesn't have that much ERS.
He did get it. The Vikings got it, so he's going to bridge that gap for this final lap tear up against Hickey Cat. Two very experienced campaigners in global racing. And this will be a nice little battle to the end. Double DRS zone, so he's got it down the straight as well. It'll go from just on the 1 second mark to about 6/10 by the time they get under brakes. Just slightly outside of that, 8/10. But the ERS is going to be the big deal. 25 now for Hickey Cat. He's saved. He knew, and you watch. He will save this entire lap, and he'll just spam it once they hit that DRS detection zone on the back straight. And he'll just empty the tank. I think the Vikings playing the same game too. He's given it a little bit of a squirt. He's just fallen out of DRS, so he's down to 16%. So Hickey Cat looking good here.
And Hickey Cat at 27%, giving it a little bit of a juice, only by 2%. But
that's because he'd been listening to the stream and he knows that Vikings down to 27 at the moment. But he needs to save. He's still using some, just trying to keep him out of that DRS range. It's difficult to know whether to use it and try and keep your opponent out of DRS when it's 0.9 or save it and just spam it. We're going to find out now. Onto the back straight they come. DRS detection zone. The Viking does get DRS. Let's see if he can close the gap. It's 1 second at the moment. I think it's too big a hill to climb. Hickey Cat down into the final turn on the final lap, comes through that section of the racetrack in the race lead, and the Viking, despite his best efforts, won't be able to do anything. Checkered flag comes out. Hickey Cat with the win. The Viking from last on the grid up into second. Then we go back to Noxie, waiting for him to come into view. Version 2's a pretty good one. It's ended up with a podium here today, and Jake, who's stayed out of trouble even though he hasn't got any front wing at the moment, is going to come down and finish in fourth and pick up 12 championship points. Well done, my friend. Consistency, proving that you can finish well in any league league race that you compete in. Stay out of trouble and get that checkered flag.
Exactly.
Not bad.
Right. And who do you think is going to be the driver of the day?
Oh, you have to give it to the Viking last a second.
Do you want to know who I'm going to give it to?
Who?
I'm going to give it to every single driver that was on that grid.
Yeah.
That race was absolutely amazing.
Oh, the dance of victory.
The
dance of victory from Hickey Cat. He takes the podium, gets the trophy, waves it high in the air. I never knew he had a beard, Hickey Cat. He's changed since I last saw him. So it's Hickey Cat over the Viking. Then we go to Noxie, Jake, and then CSAVs rounding out the top five. And they're the DNFs on your screen now. For those that like to go and have a chat with CSAVs and VDucks, they are the tyre strategies. Let's go and... Why can't I get to the incidents? Ah, there we go. They're the incidents. If you want to take those to the stewards, just push pause and save screen, and the pit stops. So who got the most amount of pit stops?
It would have been...
Did the Viking only do two pit stops? That'd be a record for him.
No, he did 3. He went from medium to hard to soft to soft. And the person that got the most amount of pit stops was none other than Jake Aribo.
Well done. There it is, the second round of the Schumacher Series. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to be a part of Global Racing, check them out on Facebook. Global Racing League, a lot of fun, some really cool people to hang out with. And as you can see, we have a lot of fun when we're out there on the racetrack. Bulldog, my man, thank you so much for your time today. As always, a pleasure chatting with you.
As always.
And we'll look forward to catching up with you next time. Thanks very much for being a part of today's live stream. Bye for now.